Okay, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the Planning and Land Use Management Committee. I won't jinx it, but I think we can get through this rather efficiently here. We have 5 items on the agenda. I don't see the director, so I don't believe we'll have the planning report. That's item 5. Items 3 and 4. Item 3, we continue in plum to June 4th, 13th, and council June 19th. And item 4, we can continue in plum to May 28th, and council June 5th. That leaves us with the first 2 items. Roberto, I'd like to read the first one for the record.
Yes, item 1, Councilman, is a report from City Planning and the City Attorney. It's an ordinance to establish the Bunker Hill specific plan.
Okay, let's have the report from the Planning Department.
Good afternoon, council members. Nick Marisich with City Planning, here to present the proposed ordinance establishing the Bunker Hill specific plan. This item was before the City Planning Commission back in June 9th of 2011. It was case number CPC 2011-653 and 654, in which they approved a draft specific plan for the Bunker Hill area. It's bounded by 1st Street to the north, Hill Street to the east, 4th and 5th Streets on the south, and the 110 Harbor Freeway on the west, all within the Central City Community Plan. The specific plan was developed with input from community stakeholders and the staff of the former Community Redevelopment Agency as a way to guide future development in the area, and is intended to replace the former Bunker Hill redevelopment plan, which expired on January 1st of this year. At its meeting on August 2nd of 2011, the Plum Committee considered this item and requested the City Attorney prepare and present an ordinance to implement the specific plan. Since 2011, planning staff have worked closely with the City Attorney to prepare the revised ordinance and findings which are included in the reports in front of you today. In conjunction with the revised ordinance, staff has updated the environmental clearance for this item and requests that as part of your action today, the committee updates references to adopting the negative declaration, ENV 2012-2911-ND, as outlined in the City Attorney and Planning report in front of you. The prior EIR, the CRA's EIR State Clearinghouse number 2005-021-059, which had been previously associated with this action, can be received and filed without action. In addition, just for the record, there's no longer a need for a zone change or code amendment ordinance, which were previously part of the action on this item. These have been addressed in the report in front of you. So just to conclude, staff is recommending adoption of the revised specific plan ordinance as prepared by the City Attorney, adoption of the negative declaration, and adoption of the revised environmental and land use findings that are included in the report in front of you. And in addition, we've submitted Appendix A, which we would hope you would also adopt as part of your action today. It's referenced in the specific plan document. We're available to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Great. We do have 2 speaker cards. So, Councilman, this is your district. I don't know if you want to share a few words or afterwards. Okay. Thank you. Actually, I have 3. So let's call up John Whitaker, followed by Ann Garay, and then John Wilbur. I'd like to come on up. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. John Whitaker, DLA Piper, representing actually Brookfield Properties, but I've also speaking on behalf of the development community, of which I represent a lot of developers in the downtown area. I speak in support of the specific plan. I think the planning department has done a great job putting this together, working with the property owners who have a property to be developed. Brookfield owns the 333 South Hope building with the development site as part of the property. They've listened to our concerns and responded to them, put together a fabulous specific plan we think will be excellent for downtown. So I speak in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Whitaker. Good afternoon.
Hi, my name is Ann Gray. I represent the Colburn School and 2 Cow Plaza on Bunker Hill. And we are in support of this plan as well. It's been a long time coming, and I know that the unwinding of CRA and the replacement with planning codes to replace it has been really tricky, and I think this could actually serve as a model for other CRA areas. It's very simple. It's undoubtedly going to have some complicated decisions to be made down the road when projects actually start to come about because of some weird, unavoidable conflicts. But I think in general it's a really a good plan, and it allows the flexibility for planning decision makers to come in without variances.
Great. And John Wilburn?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I am John Wellborn. I'm the president of the Angels Flight Railway Foundation, and we take care of the shortest railway in the world, which is right in this proposed specific plan area, and we just want to vouch our support for it. The planning department's good work, and it's very important to have good planning to keep the little Angels Flight Railway, which is 112 years old this year, going till we're all 224. Thank you.
Great. Great. Congratulations. That's a nice facility. Councilman?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair, and my office is in full support of this. Obviously, it's the right thing to do given that the project area no longer exists, and something needs to be in its place so that we can continue to do proper planning for the area. And this specific plan will continue the land use protections and floor area allocations for each of the parcels which are necessary. So I'm in full support of this, and hopefully we could send it out to full council today.
That'd be great. What I do appreciate about this plan is the flexibility, as mentioned by one of our speakers, especially when we look at the adaptive reuse potential in the future for some of the sites. So I'm sure glad that could be folded into this plan. So congratulations, and I think everyone just needed their pom-poms and would have been perfect. So that being said, let's move this forward, and let's approve the city attorney prepared ordinance to establish the Bunker Hill specific plan. That'll be the action of this committee. Second?
Second.
And along with the CEQA findings and the MND and Appendix A, Council.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
Sorry.
I was going to go there. Yeah, right. Okay, so that'll be the action of this committee.
Yeah, and I want to thank the planning department for their work on this too.
Thank the planning department.
Fantastic. All right, so that takes us to item number one. Next item, Roberto?
Yes, council members, item 2 is an appeal by Javed Valet. He's appealing various Q conditions. He wants clarifications on those conditions, and it's for a proposed 28 apartment unit project in CD7. Mr. Dueñas is present.
Robert Dueñas, LA City Planning. I'll try to keep this brief. Before you is an appeal of a director's determination for a Q clarification. Q clarifications are used when adjustments have to be made to an ordinance in order to move a project forward. The applicants originally approved in 05 a 28-unit apartment building. 16 of those were offered to be affordable units. The balance would be market rate units. There was a reduction in parking with this scenario. And the commission and council unanimously approved the project requested. The Q clarification now is to eliminate the affordable housing number from 16 units down to 2 units, expand the site of the project into a recently acquired commercial piece of property, and that's basically it. Some of the issues are, one, we felt the department denied the request because the request to eliminate the affordable housing steps beyond the authority of the director. It's actually changing a significant element of the ordinance. Two, the inclusion of the commercial property into this project to expand its site was done inappropriately. Instead of using the subdivision map act process for a parcel map or lot line adjustment, it was just pulled in, and now we have to go through the process, and the applicants filed for a certificate of appropriateness to clarify whether that can be done legally or not. So actually some of this has gotten real muddied. The actual process that should have been used is a zone change to pull in the new part into this area, to reevaluate that, and a density bonus application to review the mix and the incentives that could be afforded to this project.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is the appellant here? I don't have any other cards. Would they like to speak? If so, you should fill out a card once you're done. So do we have the appellants come before us and give us the nature and the reason for your appeal?
Good afternoon, council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. We would like to request a continuance of a week so we can have time to work with staff staff and with Councilmember Cardenas' office on this project. We did make the request to reduce the affordability. In a nutshell, the only reason driving the mixture of affordability and market rate was an inability to provide the required parking on the site. The original project had 38 parking spaces, and based on the unit mixture that was proposed and the use of the 1-to-1 parking ratio provided for affordable units, that's why you saw the huge number of affordable units. The applicant now is the predecessor in interest who can actually park the project almost to code, which is why we're seeing the request to reduce the affordability to 2, which is what would be necessary to give the property a density bonus of 20%, that it needs to achieve 27 units overall.
Okay, a couple of things. One is Councilman Cardenas is now Congressman Cardenas.
Congressman Cardenas.
Okay, my understanding is that this is in Councilman Alarcon's district.
As of July 1, there was a district change, so it's now in former Councilman, now Congressman Cardenas' district.
Okay. So we need a Vox position on this. No, just kidding. And you are, since there is no one sitting currently in that seat, who's anticipated to come in? We already have an elect. Right?
I believe that the process is for the deputy for CD6 to contact the CLA's office, councilman,
Okay.
and the caretaker of that office,
Okay.
Mr. Katayan.
Let me ask you this question.
Certainly.
In the change of scenario, you're asking to eliminate the affordable and increase the market rate? Is that what you're asking?
That's correct. The overall density is not increasing. We're just decreasing the affordable and increasing the amount of market rate. It's tough to finance a project, any project, under these current economic conditions. The project has secured financing based on the reduced affordability. It would have been tough to finance with the larger affordability.
Well, my understanding is you have another track of activities occurring with a parcel you wanted to add to the design of the parcel and the building?
There is a portion of property that was brought in, or that is going to be brought in, that is commercially zoned. It will be used only for parking. There is a certificate of compliance that has been approved. We may have to do a lot line adjustment to ultimately bring that in.
And you still have to go through that whole process?
That is in process at the moment.
But there's a different timeline on that?
That's correct.
Well, we'll continue this 1 week, but if I were to decide today, I would deny the appeal, because I strongly believe that the process should maintain its integrity, and that the process was laid out with the original application should remain, and that the queue conditions were stated so that you could have your affordable, but now that you are the new property owner, we'll give you 1 week to clarify a position, but at this stage, Madam Attorney, we can just continue this. Are there any sensitive deadlines to this process that we know of?
I don't believe so. I think it's just a question of this doesn't seem to be the right procedure
Right.
to do what they're trying to accomplish. So I don't know, what's going to change in a week, but I guess they can have that opportunity if it's the chair's wish.
Right. I just think you're approaching this, I think there's a more proper way to approach this, and that is to revisit the zoning designation and go according to the new request. There are design guidelines that still need to be folded in, which right now I don't believe are currently part of the direction. Mr. Duenas, can you answer that?
Robert Duenas, no. At the time of approval, we did not have citywide design guidelines. Now, when a density bonus project or just about any discretionary action is filed, we do evaluate those projects against the citywide design guidelines. And if the new application were filed, zone change and density bonus request, we would evaluate it to that level.
Okay.
Council members, if I may add, the project is not changing. The skin is similar. The size is similar. The only thing changing is the makeup of the units. And these were units that were volunteered by the applicant, again, to arrive at a project that could be parked. So the condition does read that the units are 12 market rate and 16 affordable as volunteered by the applicant, which is why we were advised that we should come through the clarification process because we no longer intend to volunteer those units. I do understand that they are codified in an ordinance, but we were advised by planning staff that this would be the appropriate procedure because of the intent issue, and also because if you look at the project, the purpose of those units was to reduce the parking count.
Well, I'm inclined to deny the appeal and act today because we're hearing from the planning department the recommendation. And the recommendation is to deny the appeal.
If we can have a week for us to work with staff, we would really appreciate that, and also to work with the council office to make sure that we are using the appropriate procedure.
My understanding is that the council office does not support the change, that the affordable units are important to them.
I believe they were supportive of a one-week continuance so that we can work out some of these issues.
They're not here. Oh, come on. Are you from the department? Are you from the council office? What would you like to do? It's your district. I really want to give you that discretion because it's
Eddie Martinez, sorry, sir, planning deputy for Council District Number 6. We were notified of this just yesterday. Again, it used to be in CD7, and then we acquired it due to the whole boundary line change back in July 1st. So we met with our representative today, actually, with my chief of staff, Jim D'Antona.
Would you like the continuance? Is that
Yeah,
yes or no?
for 1 week if we can. That way we can speak to the actual applicant and also to the staff as well.
Upon your request, we'll grant the one-week continuance.
For next week. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Anything else, Roberto?
Public comment, Council.
Anybody for public comment? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.